When the local funeral director calls your cell phone to confirm the floral arrangements for your own burial, you don't just hang up. You ask who's paying the bill. I was sitting on my couch, eating takeout, and completely alive, when I found out I had officially died 3 days ago. And the person mourning me the loudest? My own sister. Am I speaking to the executor of the estate? The voice on the phone asked. It was Mr. Higgins from the Oakwood Funeral Home. I recognized his voice from when we buried my parents just 6 months prior. I told him he was speaking to me, the deceased. There was a dead silence on the line. He stammered, "Beep, but your sister Claire was just here. She handed me your death certificate. She's arranging a closed casket memorial." My blood ran cold. Claire and I had a falling out after our parents passed. They left their entire $2 million estate split evenly between us. But Claire always believed she deserved it all, because she stayed in our hometown while I moved away. I knew she was greedy, but I didn't know she was fake my only sibling's death greedy. Suddenly, a chilling thought hit me. Higgins was pushing an awfully expensive mahogany casket for a body that didn't exist. Was he in on it? Was this a coordinated fraud ring? I didn't trust anyone. I told Higgins to play along with Claire and not say a word about our call. For the next 48 hours, I played detective. I thought Higgins was a co-conspirator trying to take a cut of the life insurance. But as it turned out, he wasn't an evil mastermind. He was just a notoriously aggressive salesman, and in his greedy rush to upsell my sister on premium funeral packages, he had accidentally CC'd the digital invoice to my actual active email address, the one on file from my parents' funeral, instead of the fake burner email Claire had given him. Higgins's sheer incompetence was the silver lining, but Claire had made one absolutely fatal legal mistake when forging that death certificate. A mistake that wouldn't just cost her the inheritance, but her freedom. I'll get to that in a second. With the invoice and the fake death certificate in hand, I didn't call Claire. I called my lawyer, and then I called the fraud department of the local police. We discovered Claire had bribed a disgraced, unlicensed medical examiner in a neighboring county to sign off on a fatal car crash narrative. She had already filed the paperwork to freeze my bank accounts and was legally positioning herself as the sole surviving heir to claim the entire $2 million estate. The probate hearing to finalize the transfer of assets was scheduled for that exact Friday. The police wanted to arrest her immediately, but my lawyer, a brilliant theatrical man named Davis, smiled and said, "Let's wait until Friday. Let her commit perjury in front of a judge." Friday arrived. The courtroom was small, quiet, and smelled of lemon polish. Claire was at the front, and dabbing her dry eyes with a tissue, wearing a custom black mourning dress she probably bought with my half of the money. She stood before the judge, swearing under oath that I had tragically passed away and that she was the rightful sole heir. The judge looked over the paperwork. "And there is no one else to contest this claim?" That was my cue. The heavy wooden doors of the courtroom creaked open. I walked down the center aisle, wearing a bright red suit, the exact opposite of mourning attire. "Objection, Your Honor," I said, my voice echoing. "The deceased would like a word." Claire turned around, the color completely drained from her face. She looked like she had actually seen a ghost. She let out this bizarre, strangled gasp and actually collapsed into her chair. "Remember that fatal mistake I mentioned? When Claire forged the death certificate, she used the date of the supposed car crash. But on that exact date, I was out of state, being pulled over for a minor speeding ticket by a state trooper, complete with dashcam footage and my signature on the citation. I had absolute, undeniable proof of life, documented by law enforcement at the exact time I was supposedly dead. The judge didn't just deny her claim. He ordered her detained right there in the courtroom for felony fraud, perjury, and forging government documents, Claire is currently serving 5 years in a state penitentiary. I visit her every year on the anniversary of my death, just to drop off some cheap funeral flowers. As for the $2 million, let's just say my afterlife is very comfortable. In fact, I used a fraction of my newfound wealth to send Mr. Higgins, the funeral director, a premium gourmet thank you gift basket. His email incompetence was the best thing that ever happened to me. If you loved this story of absolute revenge, hit that subscribe button right now. And tell me in the comments, what's the pettiest thing a family member has ever done to you? I promise it's not as bad as faking your death. See you in the next one.